Have you ever wondered why some people seem to bloom beautifully in their later years, while others stumble into a maze of health setbacks, social isolation, and regret? It's not simply about luck or genetic blessings. Often, it comes down to a series of small but significant choices, everyday habits, and beliefs that quietly accumulate over the decades. Many of these mistakes masquerade as harmless or inconsequential at first. Skipping a morning walk here, dismissing a new skill as too complicated there, or deciding to avoid certain social gatherings. These small lapses can grow into major pitfalls over time. We tend to focus on the big events in life, career milestones, family achievements, major financial decisions. Yet it's the subtle, incremental slip-ups that pose the greatest danger. By the time people realize the impact, the damage may be so deeply woven into their routines that reversing it requires a Herculean effort. What's even more concerning is how quietly these issues operate. They often unfold slowly, catching us off guard. In old age, the consequences can become glaring: weakened bodies, emotional voids, drained bank accounts, and an aimless sense of purpose. But here's the good news. It's never too late to recognize these patterns and steer your life in a better direction. Even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, you can still make meaningful changes that dramatically shift your well-being. Age itself is not the enemy. Complacency is. By staying alert and open to growth. Physically, socially, financially, and mentally, you can enjoy a life filled with vitality and purpose no matter how many years you've lived. In this video, we'll explore some of the most common mistakes people make in their later years. Missteps that can quietly destroy your happiness, independence, and peace of mind. As you read, keep an open heart, reflect on your own habits or those of a loved one, and consider how small, consistent adjustments could help avoid these traps. Because aging isn't just about the passing of years. It's about how you choose to navigate them. So let's dive in. Neglecting one's body is among the most widespread yet preventable missteps in old age. It tends to start innocently. Perhaps you skip that daily walk once or twice a week, citing a lack of time or motivation. Maybe you lean on convenient, highly processed foods because cooking a well-balanced meal seems daunting. Over time, these modest oversights become chronic. By 70 or 75, they manifest in stiff joints, diminished stamina, and a dwindling quality of life. Why does this happen? Our culture often portrays aging as an inevitable decline. We're told it's normal to lose flexibility, muscle tone, or energy as we get older. While some biological changes are inevitable, most people underestimate how much control they truly have. A sedentary lifestyle compounds every health risk. Muscles weaken, bones become more brittle, and everyday tasks, like carrying groceries or climbing stairs, transform from routine acts into formidable hurdles. Take Margaret's story, for instance. In her late 60s, she began skimping on her regular afternoon exercise sessions, telling herself she'd already done enough throughout her life. Within a year, she noticed her balance was off. She stumbled more often, and standing for long periods became a chore. What seemed like a natural, normal part of aging was actually the result of diminishing muscle strength and flexibility. When she finally decided to attend a senior-friendly fitness class, it took her months to restore what she had lost in that short year of inactivity. Diet also plays a crucial role. As people age, the body's nutrient requirements can actually increase in certain areas. Protein becomes vital for maintaining muscle mass, calcium for bone density, and fiber for healthy digestion. Skipping meals or relying on processed foods can lead to deficits that sap energy and undermine overall health. It's not about strict dieting or bland meals. It's about prioritizing nutritious options. Even small changes, such as adding fruits and vegetables to your plate or drinking more water, can yield noticeable improvements in how you feel. Another part of neglect is skipping regular medical checkups. Many older adults only see a doctor when something feels seriously wrong. However, routine screenings can unearth silent issues like high blood pressure, diabetes, or bone density loss before they escalate. These conditions often have no overt symptoms in their early stages, giving them time to inflict hidden damage. By the time you notice something amiss, the condition is far more challenging to treat. What can you do about it? Set small exercise goals. Even a 15-minute walk each morning can have a dramatic impact on cardiovascular health, mood, and energy levels. Incorporate simple strength exercises. Use light weights or resistance bands to keep muscles engaged. Stronger muscles protect joints and reduce the risk of falls. Choose whole foods more often. Fresh produce, lean proteins, healthy fats, and whole grains can fuel your body without leaving you feeling sluggish. Stay proactive with screenings. Regular checkups and tests provide a chance to catch and manage health issues early. By acknowledging and addressing these areas, movement, diet, and medical awareness, you position yourself to remain vibrant and active. This in turn allows you to maintain the independence and freedom that make your later years more enjoyable. Many of us grow accustomed to busy lives in our middle years, juggling work, friends, children, and countless social engagements. As time goes on, those responsibilities shift or disappear, and it's easy to slip into a pattern of isolation. Perhaps you stop calling old friends because you assume they're too busy, or you worry you have little in common anymore. You might also lose the habit of meeting new people, thinking it's too late to form meaningful connections. This tendency to retreat can sneak up on you, and the ramifications are more serious than you might think. Research has repeatedly shown that social interaction is a cornerstone of emotional and cognitive health. Humans crave connection. When that craving goes unfulfilled, the consequences touch nearly every aspect of our well-being. Loneliness, in fact, has been compared to smoking a large number of cigarettes a day in terms of its impact on your health. It can increase the risk of heart disease and weaken the immune system. There's also evidence linking social isolation to a faster decline in cognitive abilities. When you don't regularly engage in conversation or shared experiences, parts of your brain that process social cues and solve problems get less exercise. Over time, this can contribute to memory issues or difficulties with everyday tasks. Take Raymond, a 73-year-old widower. After his wife passed, he found little motivation to see friends or join any community groups. It felt easier to stay home. Gradually, his world shrank. A trip to the grocery store here, a short phone call with his daughter there, but very little else. Within a year, he noticed he felt persistently down, even hopeless. Tasks that once seemed ordinary, like doing laundry, felt monumental. However, when a neighbor invited him to a weekly seniors meet and greet at a local center, he decided to give it a try. The transformation didn't happen overnight, but slowly he found himself looking forward to group discussions, coffee outings, and even a renewed curiosity about learning new things. It's vital to note that maintaining social contact isn't limited to family. While family is important, relying solely on your children or relatives for company can lead to disappointment when they inevitably get busy with their own lives. Diversify your social circle. Neighbors, church or community groups, volunteer organizations, and old colleagues can all become important sources of friendship. Even short conversations with acquaintances can brighten your day and keep loneliness at bay. Technology can be a significant ally here, especially for those with mobility issues. Learning to use messaging apps or video calls can bridge long distances and allow you to share more frequent, meaningful interactions with loved ones. It might feel daunting at first, but many community centers or libraries offer basic tech classes specifically tailored for older adults. Once you grasp the basics, you'll likely find it easier than you ever imagined. Action steps: plan routine calls or visits. Schedule them like any other important appointment. Explore local groups. Whether it's a gardening club or a monthly movie discussion, communal activities can spark fresh connections. Embrace technology. Video chats, social media groups, and online discussion boards offer additional avenues for interaction. Contribute. Volunteering or mentoring younger people not only combats loneliness, but also gives you a sense of purpose. Even a small commitment, like joining a club or making one phone call a week, can quickly grow into a healthier social calendar that supports your emotional and mental well-being. It's a common misconception that money matters less with age. After all, you may have saved during your working years, invested, and looked forward to living comfortably on a pension or retirement plan. But life rarely follows a neat script. Unexpected expenses, inflation, rising medical costs, or even emergencies like home repairs can corrode your savings much faster than anticipated. Failing to keep a vigilant eye on financial health can turn what should be peaceful golden years into a time of fear, stress, and dependency. The overspending trap. Some retirees feel they deserve to spend freely after decades of hard work, and to some extent, That's true. You should enjoy the fruits of your labor. The problem arises when expenditures vastly outpace income. Taking frequent luxury trips, buying costly gifts for grandchildren, or indulging in big-ticket items can quickly deplete even a solid retirement fund if done without planning. Before long, you may face the grim realization that your money won't cover your essential needs for the next 10 or 20 years. Underestimating long-term care costs. Medical expenses tend to increase with age. This includes not just routine checkups or prescription medications, but also more significant interventions like surgeries, rehabilitation, or extended in-home care. Few people plan adequately for the possibility of needing assisted living or specialized in-home support. These services can be extremely expensive, and if you haven't allocated funds or insurance options for them, the financial strain can be overwhelming, falling victim to scams. Unfortunately, older adults are prime targets for financial fraud. Scammers know that seniors often have life savings or home equity built up. They also know that many grew up in a more trusting era. Phone calls claiming to be from government agencies, fake online relationships seeking money, or high-pressure salespeople offering questionable investments can siphon away thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of dollars. Staying informed about common scams and maintaining a healthy skepticism about unsolicited offers is critical. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Neglecting ongoing financial planning. Some people assume that once they retire, they can forget about budgeting or adjusting investments. In reality, financial oversight should continue throughout life. You might need to rebalance your investment portfolio to be more conservative, or you may choose to keep some portion of your savings in growth-oriented vehicles to combat inflation. Keeping a simple monthly or quarterly budget can reveal patterns of overspending or highlight areas where you could trim costs without sacrificing your quality of life. Practical safeguards. Set a realistic budget. Calculate monthly expenses including healthcare, groceries, utilities, and leisure. Determine how much you can comfortably spend without dipping into savings too rapidly. Plan for emergencies. Keep an emergency fund separate from your primary accounts. Even a small fund dedicated to sudden events like car repairs or urgent medical bills can provide peace of mind. Be scam aware. Regularly update yourself on common fraud tactics. If in doubt, consult a trusted financial advisor or family member before making any big financial commitments. Maintain financial transparency. If you feel overwhelmed, consider talking to a professional or an adult child with financial expertise, as long as you trust them. This doesn't mean handing over control, but rather seeking guidance. When you master your money, even modestly, you secure the freedom to make choices that enrich your life. You can travel if you want to, help a grandchild through college, or simply enjoy your hobbies without constant stress. Financial security preserves dignity and independence, two qualities that matter immensely at every stage of life. It's tempting to cling to the idea that what worked for us 20 or 30 years ago should still work today. After all, we've spent decades refining routines, learning life lessons, and figuring out how to manage a household or build a career. But the speed at which technology, society, and health guidelines change can catch us off guard, especially if we resist new ways of doing things. Why does this happen? For many, the notion of learning a new skill in old age can feel intimidating or even demeaning, as if they're being told their previous life experience no longer has value. In reality, your wisdom is indispensable. It just needs to be paired with an openness to updates. Take technology, for example. You don't need to become a software engineer or social media maven, but grasping basic digital tools can significantly enhance your independence. From accessing online banking and medical portals to keeping in touch with relatives via video calls, technology can simplify daily life if we let it. Practical example. Think of Edna, a 77-year-old living in a retirement community. Initially, she scoffed at the idea of using smartphone apps to manage her prescriptions. She was used to calling her doctor's office or going there in person. But when mobility issues made in-person visits more challenging, she reluctantly tried the pharmacy's online refill system. Within a few weeks, She realized she no longer had to wait on hold for ages or worry about misplacing paper scripts. She could track her refills with a few taps. Her shift in attitude saved her time, money, and physical strain. Adaptation isn't only about technology. It's also about embracing new health guidelines or social norms. Perhaps you once believed that older adults shouldn't lift weights out of fear of injury, but modern geriatric advice often encourages strength training to maintain bone density. Or maybe you held certain opinions about mental health therapy, dismissing it as unnecessary. Times have changed, and so has our understanding of mental well-being. Accessing counseling or group therapy might be just what you need to cope with grief, loneliness, or anxiety. Family relationships can also benefit from adaptability. Younger generations have different communication styles, and bridging that gap can strengthen bonds. Grandchildren might prefer texting over phone calls. Learning to send a message may be more effective than waiting for them to dial your number. You don't have to adopt every trend, but you can meet them halfway. Key takeaways: stay curious, ask questions, and allow yourself to learn. Curiosity is a skill, and it keeps your mind active. Be willing to fail. Trying new things may come with hiccups or moments of confusion. That's okay. Mistakes are part of growth. Evaluate old beliefs. Just because something was true when you were young doesn't mean it's the best approach now. Stay informed. Leverage your experience. Remember, your life experience is valuable. Combine it with new perspectives for the best outcomes. By refusing to be boxed in by the way we used to do it, you open the door to innovations that might drastically improve your quality of life. As you adapt, you'll likely notice a renewed sense of capability. The world continues to evolve. Why not evolve alongside it? When you're young or middle-aged, purpose often finds you. Careers, raising children, community obligations, or personal projects provide daily motivation. But after retirement, or once the kids have grown, many older adults experience a void. They wake up without a job to get to or pressing tasks to manage. Bit by bit, the feeling that they're no longer useful sets in. Why is this dangerous? A lack of purpose can sap the joy and excitement out of life, leading to depression, mental stagnation, and even physical decline. Researchers have found that older adults who maintain strong goals or passions, whether it's volunteering, learning, or creative pursuits, tend to have better cognitive function and overall health. It's as if the mind needs a sense of direction to stay robust. Consider the story of Philip, who retired from a lifelong career in teaching. For over 40 years, he had a clear identity. He was an educator, shaping young minds. Upon retiring, he relished the first few months of rest, catching up on neglected hobbies. But the novelty wore off, and soon he felt adrift, waking each day with no real plan. Eventually, he started volunteering as a tutor at a local youth center. That decision reinvigorated him. He discovered he could still impact young lives, and his decades of wisdom had real value. His morale skyrocketed, and so did his overall sense of well-being. Purpose doesn't have to be grand or heroic. You don't need to write a best-selling novel or raise millions for charity to feel purposeful. It can be as modest as growing a garden, mentoring a grandchild, or dedicating time to a craft you enjoy. The key is to have something that gives you a reason to greet each day with anticipation. Some find fulfillment in spiritual or religious communities. Others discover it in creative arts or community activism. If you're unsure where to start, think back to your youth. Were there hobbies or dreams you never got to pursue? Perhaps you always wanted to learn an instrument or speak another language. Or maybe you have a personal story to share through writing. Old age can be the perfect stage to focus on these aspirations, free from certain responsibilities that once monopolized your time. Actionable steps. Set small goals. If you want to learn painting, start with simple tutorials. Celebrate incremental progress. Join groups. Being around people who share your interests not only boosts your social life, but also keeps you motivated. Offer your skills. Volunteering or mentoring allows you to utilize your expertise while also connecting with others. Keep learning. Take online courses or attend workshops in person. Your mind remains more resilient when actively engaged in new information. Embracing a sense of purpose fosters mental clarity clarity, emotional stability, and even stronger physical health. Waking up with something to look forward to provides structure to your day, a gateway to new social connections, and an ongoing journey of personal growth. Sometimes in our quest to stave off loneliness, keep fit, or stay financially secure, we forget to pause and savor the small wonders of everyday life. This might sound insignificant, but the habit of recognizing simple blessings, like a sunny morning walk, a heartfelt chat with a friend, or the taste of your favorite homemade meal, can dramatically influence your overall happiness. Think about how stress creeps in. We worry about finances, we lament our aches and pains, we miss old friends who have passed or moved away. If we allow these concerns to dominate our thoughts, we risk a downward emotional spiral. What if instead, we deliberately took moments each day to appreciate what we still have? Even in the midst of chronic health issues or financial limitations, pockets of joy exist. It could be as simple as the warmth of a cozy blanket on a chilly morning. Gratitude has tangible benefits. Psychologists find that people who practice daily gratitude, whether by keeping a journal or mentally recounting 3 good things that happened, experience lower stress, better sleep, and enhanced resilience. The brain can be trained to see positive aspects of daily life, counteracting the natural tendency to focus on negatives. Consider Lucy, an 80-year-old who lives with arthritis. She's in near constant discomfort, but she began a routine. Every evening, she writes down 5 things she was thankful for that day. At first, she struggled to list anything beyond the basics. Yet, as the weeks passed, she realized there were many small moments that sparked contentment. A neighbor who waved hello, a phone call from a niece, a perfectly brewed cup of tea. Over time, Lucy noticed that her overall outlook on life had become more hopeful and energized despite her physical limitations. How can you integrate this practice? Maintain a gratitude journal. Even 1 sentence a day can shift your focus. Share thankfulness. Verbally tell family, friends, or caregivers what you appreciate about them. This fosters closeness and mutual positivity. Mindful moments. When eating a meal or taking a short walk, pause and think, I'm glad I can still taste this soup, or I'm grateful I can breathe fresh air. Celebrate small wins. Whether it's finishing a puzzle or successfully learning a new phone feature, acknowledge that win. By weaving gratitude into your daily habits, you cultivate an environment of mental well-being and emotional stability. This perspective can help you cope better with challenges and deepen your relationships. We've explored several interconnected mistakes that can quietly dismantle a person's health, happiness, and sense of fulfillment in old age. Neglecting physical health. Overlooking consistent movement, healthy eating, and regular medical checkups paves the way for chronic diseases and loss of mobility. Self-isolation and broken social ties. Retreating from social circles may feel comfortable at first, but often leads to loneliness, cognitive decline, and emotional turmoil. Financial missteps. Poor budgeting, lack of planning for future care, and susceptibility to scams can transform once secure finances into a source of constant anxiety. Fear of change and rigid mindset. Clinging to outdated habits or dismissing new technologies can isolate you further, reducing opportunities for growth and convenience. Losing sense of purpose. Without a goal or project, days can blur into monotony, leading to depression, mental stagnation, and reduced overall health. Overlooking simple joys and daily gratitude. Failing to acknowledge the small pleasures undermines emotional resilience and overall life satisfaction. Here's the uplifting truth. Any one of these errors can be addressed, and it's never too late. Aging doesn't have to be a slow surrender. Yes, it comes with challenges, but it also presents opportunities for personal exploration, creative pursuits, and meaningful connections you might not have had time for in earlier stages of life. If you recognize even a hint of these mistakes in your routine, consider the power of incremental, consistent changes. Start with small, manageable actions. If you haven't been active, begin with short walks or gentle stretches. If you're isolated, pick one friend or relative to call regularly or sign up for a community group that piques your curiosity. Redefine success. In older age, success isn't necessarily a promotion or a big purchase. It's often about maintaining good health, enjoying companionship, and finding a meaningful way to spend your days. Stay informed. Stay adaptable, keep up with financial advice, remain open to new technologies, and embrace health guidelines that fit your needs. Nurture your spirit, whether through religion, volunteer work, creative projects, or simply relishing a sunset. Feed your sense of wonder and purpose. Your choices today shape the quality of your future. Old age is not merely a winding down. It can be a phase of renewal, wisdom, and deep satisfaction. Reflect on what you want these years to look like and make practical plans to bring that vision to life. If there's something you've always wanted to do, a pastime you never pursued, or an idea you never developed, this could be the moment to seize it. Remember, it's never too late to rewrite the story of your life. Even if you've slipped into one or more of these mistakes, each new day offers a fresh chapter. By taking control of your physical well-being, cultivating strong relationships, managing your finances wisely, adapting to a changing world, staying connected to a sense of purpose, and cherishing life's little joys, you can ensure that your later years are both meaningful and deeply rewarding. Thank you for joining me on this journey of reflection and personal growth. Your time and attention are truly appreciated, and I hope you walk away feeling motivated to make the small, powerful changes that add up to a life well lived. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Here's to thriving at every age,